Support for AZPM comes from Hughes Federal Credit Union, a local not-for-profit cooperative offering 17-month and 30-month jumbo certificate accounts with other tiered options to diversify financial portfolios. Details are at hughesfcu.org/elevate, member NCUA.
Welcome to AZPM News Daily, a wrap-up of all the day's news from Arizona Public Media. I'm Steve Jess, and coming up today, a pileup at Arizona's welfare agency as people wait hours for help.
It just sucks for people that are single parents, like my daughter.
Fear of ICE is keeping others away from social services.
They don't want to be a cause for their family to be highlighted and for enforcement efforts to be executed against their family members.
And the Folklife Alliance recognizes artists and their apprentices.
This is not just an award for you, but it's also because of how you're working with your community.
Topping our news today, people applying for welfare at the Arizona Department of Economic Security have been experiencing delays in aid due to high call volumes and staffing shortages. Noor Hagigi reports.
Gabriela Franco has been waiting for over an hour at the DES office on Fort Lowell Road to reapply for food stamps. With the Trump administration's new work requirements, she's had to cut down on her hours at work as a caregiver to be eligible for aid. Franco said she needs Medicaid as well to get her $10,000 hospital bill covered.
It's always an immense wait time, and it just sucks for people that are single parents, like my daughter. I always have to bring her in, and then they kind of give you the runaround. They make it really hard to get the help, too.
The Tucson DES offices have not responded to AZPM's media requests, but reports from Phoenix news sites show that the agency is only answering a fraction of the thousands of calls they get each month. Noor Hagigi, AZPM News.
Organizations working with children and families say fewer children are participating in social and community services due to fears around immigration enforcement, even children who are U.S. citizens. We hear more on that from Danielle Camara.
Adriana Gomez Andrade with Arizona Legal Women and Youth Services says many Tucson teens are missing out on supportive services to help them succeed because of the fear of heightened immigration enforcement.
Because there's an incredible fear that even if there is a participant within the family who is, eligible and able to continue with certain services, they don't want to be a cause for their family to be highlighted and for enforcement efforts to be executed against their family members.
According to KFF, formerly the Kaiser Family Foundation, increased immigration enforcement is tied to higher levels of absenteeism and negative outcomes on academics and student health. The nonprofit says that nationwide, about 9 million school-aged children live with at least one non-citizen adult who could feel threatened. Many of those children are U.S. citizens. I'm Danielle Camara, AZPM News.
An inmate who was sentenced in Pima County in 2013 died this week at a state prison in Buckeye after fighting with other inmates. Nick Rommel has our story.
The Arizona Department of Corrections said that 43-year-old Jacob Major died after he was attacked by other inmates. The department is investigating the death as a homicide. Major was serving time for vehicle theft, burglary, trafficking in stolen property, and weapons charges. He had earned several disciplinary infractions while in prison, including fighting and possessing a weapon. In a press release, the department said Major's death was one of 2 unrelated deaths in Arizona prisons this month, appearing to be gang-related. The other was a 50-year-old Liron Indian at a facility in Yuma. The department said it's confident the gang-related deaths don't pose a threat to the wider prison population. Nick Rommel, AZPM News.
Arizona State University President Michael Crow seems disappointed that ASU was not offered the chance to sign the Trump administration's deal to reshape higher education. It's the same compact the University of Arizona and 8 other schools rejected. Eliza Collins interviewed Crow for the Wall Street Journal. She told KJZZ Radio that when Crow saw the U of A was on the list, he thought there must have been a mistake.
And that is, typical sort of rivalry, sister schools, all of that. But there is something bigger here because Michael Crow, in the 2 decades he's been here in Arizona, has completely transformed the school.
The compact asked universities to adopt policies like screening international students for anti-American values and getting rid of instruction that could punish or provoke violence against conservative ideas. Reporting in the Wall Street Journal suggested the government might withhold federal funding if universities refuse to sign. The Department of Homeland Security announced new border wall contracts on Thursday, including nearly $1.5 billion for new border wall and detection technology at the U.S.-Mexico border in Arizona. Danielle Camara has more on that.
Fisher Sand and Gravel is contracted to build about 19 miles of new wall split into 4 sections on either side of Nogales and further west into the Buenos Aires National Wildlife Refuge. In the same areas, the contract also includes sections of secondary wall, which typically runs parallel to an existing border barrier and is separated by an enforcement zone. A government press release said the contract also includes funding for 136 miles of detection technology in areas where there are existing walls. The government awarded these contracts from the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. I'm Danielle Camara, AZPM News.
Arizona lawmakers are considering recognizing obesity as a chronic disease and examining the cost savings of covering preventative care. A new advisory committee will be tasked with reporting on obesity to the full Arizona legislature. Senator David Gowan of Sierra Vista, who chaired the panel, says there's potential for preventative treatments that could save Arizona health systems money in the long run. The panel had considered recommending the legislature expand Arizona's Medicaid program to cover the cost of GLP-1, weight loss drugs like Ozempic, but punted that decision to the new advisory committee. President Donald Trump announced last month his administration is lowering the price of certain GLP-1s. When that goes into effect, Berg says Access, the Arizona healthcare cost containment system, expects their spending will drop to $23 million overall and $5 million in state spending. The Southwest Folklife Alliance has named 10 traditional heritage artists for its 11th annual Master Apprentice Awards. Thatcher Warwick Hess has more.
Denise Uehara with the Alliance said that the process for selecting these artists can take up to a year. In the nomination phase, community members can nominate a local artist that will then be selected by a resident folklorist who works for the Alliance. The award is designed to give funding to artists and an apprentice that will continue their artistic traditions in the future.
We just tell them this is not just an award for you, but it's also because of how you're working with your community and your community's resilience, so that they can feel that their award is a way to help keep their communities strong.
This year's artists and their apprentices range from a Tohono O'odham basket weaver, Congolese gospel singers, to a Navajo silversmith. Each artist will receive $5,000 and an additional $500 for their apprentice. I'm Thatcher Warwick, AZPM News.
And now you're caught up on the stories we've covered today at Arizona Public Media. Thanks for listening. Subscribe to AZPM News Daily wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Steve Jess. We'll be back tomorrow.
Support for AZPM comes from Hughes Federal Credit Union, a local not-for-profit offering tiered options to diversify financial portfolios, such as 17-month and 30-month jumbo certificate accounts. Details are at hughesfcu.org/elevate, member NCUA.